How you guys doing? Wanted to hop on here for a minute. Sitting here waiting on a video to finish rendering that I'm working on for my good friend Lisa Copeland that I'm gonna rank to the top of YouTube in a matter of minutes once this thing's done. Greg Crane, how you doing, brother? Gabe, how are you, man? How are you? Jason Alt, my brother, how you doing? Catherine, hello. Jerry Marshall, how's it going? So I was sitting here thinking as I look around in my house that is amazing home that we live in and we're blessed with it. Richie Bello, how you doing? Michael Fafrick, how are you, man? Chuck Studebaker, holy moly, look at these people. Tiffany Oibai, how are you? Jim Weaver, you called me earlier, bro. Jorge, my brother, how you doing? So Elizabeth, geez, look at all these people. So listen, I'm sitting here and I went out, okay, I'm not gonna lie, I went to the kitchen and I got a few Girl Scout cookies. I may have gotten a few of the Fat Mints. I mean Thin Mints. They're Fat Mints. Let's just be honest here. Ricardo, how you doing? Mary. So listen, there's Lisa. Lisa, I was just talking about the video I'm waiting to render right now. Joel Boer, how you doing? Hey, Joshua. So look, here's the thing. I'm like, I don't know, the last couple of days my birthday is in July. I'll be 50 years old and I'm thinking, yeah, cookies, they're gone. There was only a few little Thin Mints. So I'm sitting, I don't know, the last few days I've really been thinking a lot about, where I've been in life and where I'm headed in life. And I wrote down some things. I always keep, I don't know if you guys use paper. I've used paper. I've used the 10X planner. I've used Savage Grinds planner. I've used all kinds of stuff. But primarily I use Just a Baby, right? Lisa, you're amazing, by the way. I've been working on that video, and you're just a badass. I'm working on a video for Lisa that I think you're gonna like. As a matter, it's done. I'm just waiting on it to finish rendering. But so I use my iPad and my Apple Pencil, and I write a lot. And one of the things that, I've been, maybe you've had a bad relationship, maybe you've had a bad marriage, a bad boyfriend, girlfriend, bad job, bad business, bad, it's been bad here too, Catherine. Maybe you've had some things happen in life that set you back. And it hit you hard. And I've been hit hard many times in life. I've been homeless 4 different times. It's not easy. Life is not easy. It would be a whole lot easier if you were born into this world and you didn't have, you got your parents. There's a great book called The 4 Agreements written by Don Miguel Ruiz. And he talks in that book in the beginning about the programming of the human. And so we have, hey, Sherry, how are you? So we have, it's not easy. So we have parents telling us, do this, do that. You're a good boy, you're a good girl, bad boy, bad girl. We've got teachers teaching us things. We've got, preachers and priests and rabbis and religions of all kinds all over the world teaching us different things. What's up, Melissa Skinner? How are you? And Terrence, what's up, dude? So, we get programmed to believe a certain way. We get programmed to live and behave in a certain manner. And then people wonder why life can be so difficult. Scott Peck wrote a book called The Road Less Traveled. And those are the first 3 words of the book. Life is difficult. And the sooner that you accept that life can be difficult, the faster you can transcend the difficulties in life, right? So I wrote down some things, how to come back from broke, because I've come back from broke many, many times in my life. Many times. I'm still coming back from broke. So, you know, the number one thing that I wrote down is this. You have to decide who you are. You have to decide as soon as you can. Get through all the crap. Get through all the feelings, the emotions of being, you know, everybody's been screwed over. Everybody has been screwed over, okay? I walked in and found my ex-girlfriend with a dude that worked for me that was my best friend. We've all been screwed over. It happens, okay? But what you've got to do is you've got to learn how to reframe that. You've got to learn how to compartmentalize it, and you've got to learn how to find who you are. Decide who you are. And once you decide who you are, once you decide, okay, I'm a whatever it is, you've got to start affirming that. You've got to write down, there's Becky Chernick. I love Becky. She's amazing. So, Michael, I use Notability. So you've got to, that's it right there, Melissa. You've got to write down I am affirmations. You've got to write that down. I mean, you don't have to. You can stay in misery as long as you want. You know, the Buddhists have a saying that goes something like this. I'm going to paraphrase. I'm not a Buddhist, but I'll paraphrase. And it's in life. In life, how's that go? We all are going to experience pain in life. Suffering is optional. Suffering is optional. Hey, Nikki, Dan Keller, how you doing? Pain is inevitable in life. Suffering is optional. You get to choose how long you're going to suffer with anything. So remember that. So affirm stuff. Write your stuff down. Write your goals down. Man who stands on dude. Oh my God. So that's true. High on pot. Danger is real. Fear is a choice. Amen to that. That is absolutely true. Listen, I'm going to be posting a video yet tonight of Lisa Copeland. If you guys don't know who Lisa Copeland is, I don't even know what to say. Like, she's a badass. I'll say that. She's the female version of never mind. She hates it when I say that. She's a badass though. If you're in the car business, you definitely know who Lisa Copeland is. So anyway, step one, decide on who you are. You've got to decide on who you are. If she said don't say it. That's funny. I'm sorry. I won't say it. So decide on who you are. If you're a car salesperson, then make the decision for the love of God and everything else holy that you're going to be the best freaking car salesperson on planet Earth. And say that. Write it down. Becky Chernick, we talked about you earlier. And it was all good stuff. But anyway, look, you've got to make a decision to be the best at whatever it is you're going to do. Decide on who you are. Decide. You've got to decide. And once you decide, the rest of it's somewhat simple, believe it or not. It really is once you decide, because then you decide what it is that you want to do with that. If you're in car sales, and I'll continue, she said, OMG, I'll continue to say this, like, look, if you're a car, I'll use the car salesperson as an example. If you're a car salesperson, you can decide, I want to make $75,000 a year selling cars, and that's it. Okay, cool, do that. Then write that down. That's what you want to accomplish. Do what it is, and then take all the action that is required to make all of that, right? So you've got to decide if you want to be who's that guy that holds the Guinness Book of World Records? Is it Joe Verdi? is it Joe Verdi that holds the Guinness Book of World Records for the most cars sold in 1 year? I forget who it is. Somebody can chime in, I know, and tell me. What's up, Michael Moulton? How you doing? I look like Ken Walls because, believe it or not, I actually am Ken Walls. I actually am. Ali Rita. Oh, is it a new record? Who was it that was the old held the old record? Greg Walker, what's up? I quit college because my professor told me he made $80,000 per year. Hey, I walked out of high school when they told me that I needed a biology credit. 3 months. Joe Girard, it was Joe Girard, but he got beat by Ali. Okay, yes. Old guy was Joe Girard, that's it. So, well, the real Ken Walls. So listen, make a decision on who it is that you want to be. And if it's a car salesperson and you want to be at $75,000 a year, then do that. And let me back up to my high school story. I walked out in 12th grade because they said that I needed a biology credit that I failed to get in 10th grade. And I was like, well, then let's work this out. Like, we're a few months away from graduation. How do we do this? And they're like, well, we don't do anything. We teach, and you show up next year and take biology again. And I said, next year? Are you guys high? What the heck? What? No, I'm not showing up next year. I'm graduating with everybody else. What do I need to do? And they said, well, I said, how about summer school? No, we don't offer it in summer school. I'm like, how about you start offering it in summer school? And they're like, nope. And I go, then you know what? I got shit to do. I'm out of here. See ya. And I walked out. Now, I regretted that for a while. I lived in that pain. I lived in that fear. Hey, Shelly Turner, how are you? So, Shelly, I would have passed. I was like, how am I going to use biology in real life? Like, the only thing I've ever used biology for, by the way, is to help my daughters with their biology homework, which I hate. So anyway, I digress. So decide, and I didn't learn what digress means in high school, just for the record. I learned that later. I decided later, I decided about 20 years old, man, I better learn how to sell or I'm going to be stuck working I worked at the Honda factory right out of after I quit high school. I walked away from high school. I may have partied for a few months and you know, what have you. But then I decided that you know, after 2.5 years of building Hondas at the Honda factory here in Ohio, I decided that I no longer wanted to build cars for a living, even though I was working 70 and 80-hour weeks and I was making crazy money at 18 and 19 and 20 years old. I was making, and this was 30 years ago, I was making $50,000 to $60,000 a year 30 years ago, which would be about $110,000 right now. So I may have partied a few months. I may have gone a little bit beyond a few months, but you know, I remember my high school sweetheart, my ex-wife. Her father was the vice president of a pharmacy company, a big Pfizer Pharmaceuticals. He was the VP of sales, and they always had money. And I was like, man, I need to get into sales. That dude did all right. You know, I mean, they had a maid and butler and all kinds of, and I was like, I gotta do that. So, I got into sales. And as soon as I got into sales and I started going out and knocking on doors, door to door business sales, I was like, dude, I don't know jack about sales. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. And then you start having those failures and fear sets in and you're like, I'm not doing that anymore because I don't know what I'm doing, right? So I started studying Zig Ziglar. I started studying Brian Tracy. I started studying Jeffrey Gitomer. I started studying all of the greats, the legends. I read How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. I started reading Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich. I started doing all these things and then boom, it took off like a rocket ship. And once, but see, I had to, number one, decide who I was. There's always been a stigma about salespeople, and I think it's starting to break now, but there's always been this bad vibe about, oh, a salesman, he'll take advantage of you and all that. No, it's like Zig Ziglar said, friends, if every salesperson on this planet took the day off, the wheels of industry would come to a screeching halt. I know I don't sound like Zig, but he does have that cool Southern draw, or did have that cool Southern draw. So you've got to decide who you are. You got to decide what you want. Are you going to be just an average salesperson at the dealership or wherever you are working? Are you going to be average, or are you going to be the best? And if you're going to be the best, then you got to do things like, it's 10:44 at night right now, and I'm here on a live stream waiting on this video to finish rendering that I'm still going to put into YouTube tonight and rank it to the top of YouTube, by the way. So you've got to also provide value. Now, if you've been through a crappy job, a crappy relationship, or 100 crappy relationships and 200 crappy jobs, or you lost a business, or you whatever it is, at some point, if you don't let go of that, like, you've got to learn to let go of that. You got to move on from that. Once you move on from that, your life can expand. Until you move on from that, you're stuck. And you're going to be stuck in this place of victimhood. And nobody likes dealing with a victim. Awesome. That's awesome. Hey, the people on the West Coast are still hustling. I'm with you. I agree with that. So, like, you've got to realize that, if you're stuck in a place where you had a bad relationship, or you had a bad marriage, a bad divorce, you had a bad business, you had a bad job, you had whatever it is, at some point, once you make the decision to leave that, or they decide for you to leave, know what I mean? You get fired, or your spouse fires you, or in my case, you come home and find your ex with somebody that works for you. And I held on to that one for a couple years. I drank myself into homelessness over that. So, like, look, you gotta let go of that, though. At some point, if you don't let go of it, life's only going to get worse. So you gotta let go of it, and then you have to provide value. If I'm a salesperson for a car dealership, man, I am going to, or whatever it is, I'm telling you, I would go out of my way to make sure that every single customer that walked on that lot or called me on the phone, that they felt really, really special about doing business with the company that I work with. You've got to provide extreme value. Once you provide extreme value, and you do it consistently over a period of time, life can become magical. The last thing is, you got to give it everything. You got to give it everything that you have. It's 10:47 at night. I've been going since early this morning. I'm still sitting in my office. I'm still going, and I still have tasks to accomplish before my day ends, and that's at least another hour worth of work. So look, you've got to provide value. You've got to give it everything that you have. Let go of the stuff from the past. If you need to get a piece of paper out, my good friend Lisa was just sending me voice messages. We were talking back and forth, and we were talking about writing. I write so much on this. I write, my life is magical. I write, money is attracted to me. I am a money magnet. I write those things down. I write them down. And look, you have 60,000, the average human being has 60,000 thoughts per day. 60,000 thoughts per day. Now you multiply that times the number of fake profiles that are currently being created under my name, and that's 3 or 4 a month at least, right? So that's a lot of thoughts. I'm just kidding. But like, the average person has 60,000 thoughts per day. If you're having 60,000 thoughts per day, what are you doing to control your thoughts? What are you doing to control what you're thinking? Because remember, almost all of us are programmed by other people from the day that we're brought into this world. Did you see that lightning flash behind me? I did. Anyway, we're programmed. That'd be a huge number, right? We're programmed to think and believe negatively about things. Thank you for all the hearts and the thumbs up and the shares and all of that. You guys are awesome. So remember that you're programmed to believe negatively. You're programmed to believe negatively. And when you're programmed to believe negatively and think negatively, well, then you know what? You're probably going to produce negative results. Jim Weaver, thank you so much, Becky. I love you too. You're amazing. So you're programmed to produce negative results in your life if you're walking around with all these negative thoughts going on. So the only way you're going to be able to you've got to consciously take some action and write it down. Write down positive things about yourself. Write down what it is that you want to accomplish. Write down, once you decide who you really are, my buddy Greg Walker, Greg owns, I don't know how many now, but I know at one point he owned 50 some odd Subway franchise restaurants. And you know what? You don't get to 50 some Subway restaurants and become an international speaker and friends with people like Les Brown. He's friends with Les Brown and all these other big people. You don't get there by walking around feeling insecure. Well, when you're programmed to believe all this negative stuff about yourself, you've got to counteract it. You've got to do the opposite of what's going on with you. And that means you've got to write it down. I was sitting here working on this video for Lisa. And I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, man, I gotta work on this. And then it's rendering and it's taking forever. And I'm like, I could go live and talk about, how to come back from broke. I've been wanting to do that for the last couple of days. And then I went, nah, I don't feel like it. I'm just, everything's not perfect in my life. Why would I want to get on there and pretend like it is? And you know what? I did it anyway. So you got to do it anyway. You've got to do it in spite of what you're feeling. Jim Weaver, thank you for sharing, bro. Melissa, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. You've got to do it in spite of what you're feeling. When you're feeling insecure, when you're feeling down, when you're feeling low, yes, the secret, the law of attraction. You've got to take action. You cannot get out of a funk by sitting around being a drunk. Hey, that rhymed. Somebody can write that down. I'm kidding. No, you can't get out of a funk by sitting still. You got to get moving. You got to take freaking action. And the more action you take, you're going to create momentum. Hey, Eric Nissen, how you doing, bro? So you've got to take action. You've got to take action. You've got to get it rolling. You've got to do it. I go live from Walmart. That's right, man. Do it from wherever. Do it from wherever. Make sure that you're number one. You've got to decide who you are. Decide who you are. That's number one. And the affirmations will help you once you decide. You have to decide first. Number two, decide what it is that you want. If you're selling windows and siding, make the decision to be the best, or make the decision to make $100,000 a year or whatever it is. Make that decision. Decide. You can't fulfill your calling from your comfort zone. That is correct. Absolutely correct. So decide what you want. Provide massive value. You've got to provide massive value. That's hard to do. I wrote down that's hard to do when you're feeling bad about yourself. If you're still feeling bad about yourself, go back to number one, write some more stuff down, and then do something for somebody else. Provide value. Give somebody something. Help them with something. Provide value. And in return, you'll start feeling better. It's 100% impossible to be depressed and all self-centered and caught up in yourself when you're helping somebody else. It's not possible. When you help somebody else and you know you've helped them, you know you've provided value, you know that you did the right thing, you know you did everything you could to help that person in some way in life, it is not possible. It's physically, scientifically not possible for you to feel bad about your life or existence. It's not possible. So make sure that you remember that. And the last thing is, give it everything. Give it everything. I go to bed every single night, 7 days a week, exhausted. I mean, exhausted. Done. Stick a fork in me. I am done. You have to leave it all on the freaking field every single day. And if you don't leave it all on the field, you're selling yourself and you're selling your family short every single day. Akuchi, how you doing, brother? Good to see you. Babe Ruth said you can't beat the person who never quits. That is correct. That is correct. You cannot beat someone who never quits. You can't. So look, and again, for me, am I competitive? You're damn right I'm competitive. Am I a hard worker? It's tough to outwork me, I'm telling you. It's tough to outwork me. Do I produce massive results? Oh yeah, I produce massive results big time. Do I provide value? I give everything I freaking have to provide amazing value. That's what I do. Do I believe in myself? I definitely believe in myself, yes. And I'm telling you though, let me tell you something. There were most of my life, I'm 49 years old right now. Most of my life, I did not believe in myself. Most of my life. I got sober at the age of 34. It's been 15 and a half years ago that I stopped drinking. What's up, brother? How you doing, Scott? Mike Scott, how you doing, man? Eric Salgado, how are you, bro? So look, I most of my life, I felt lower than worm shit about myself. Okay, do you know what that is? That's like the lowest form of feces known to man. Worms burrow way down in the earth and that's where they poop. And that's about how good I felt about myself most of my life. And I'm telling you that if you feel that way, you can get out of that. But you have to start taking action. You have to start taking action. You have to start doing the right thing. You have to start writing the affirmations down. You have to start feeling good about yourself, because you'll produce the result of feeling good about yourself as you write these things down, as you decide on who you are. When you decide on who you are, you decide on what it is that you really want. It's okay to want to be rich, by the way. Took me a long time on that one. Man, it took me a long time. It was so embedded in my brain that rich people are mean and nasty and suck, and it took a long time, man. I mean, Greg, thank you, bro. Thank you, man. I feel the same about you, bro. And you know, it took me forever. It really did. It took me a long time. When I quit drinking, I was jaundiced. My skin and my eyes were yellow. I was bloated. I was dying. My body was shutting down. I was consuming so much alcohol 24 hours a day almost that my body could not process it. So I was almost dead. I know I was. Another year, maybe less, and I would have been dead for sure. I used Notability, Sherry. And so I took the alcohol out of the equation, and I learned to get out of myself. I learned to get out of feeling sorry for myself. I learned to get out of feeling bad about everything. I learned to clean up my messes. I learned to take care of my side of the street and not judge other people and worry about what other people are doing. I learned all of that stuff, and I did everything that I was supposed to do to get healthy, but it still took me. Shane DeGarre, how you doing, bro? There he is, the Shane train. Chew. What's up, bro? So look, it took me, I'll bet you it took me 10 or 12 years, maybe 10 years probably of sobriety, being sober. It took me probably 10 years until I no longer felt that nagging, insecure feeling. Like I could be in a room filled with 100 people and feel 1,000% alone. It was crazy, that feeling of oh my God, I don't belong here. If these people, what's up, Mike Chavez? How you doing, bro? That feeling of I didn't belong no matter what was going on in my life, man. I just felt like I wasn't good enough. I felt like, thank you so much for sharing, bro. I appreciate that. I really do appreciate the shares. You guys are awesome. But I felt completely alone. I felt completely terrified most of the time. I felt completely paralyzed by everything. And once I started doing the things that I needed to do consistently over and over and over and over and over, and I quit putting that alcoholic bullshit in my body, pardon my language, but I quit putting that crap in my body. I quit ingesting alcohol, and I did that 15 and a half years ago. I'll have 16 years on August the 10th if I make it. I take it one day at a time. That's why I say if I make it, but I'm going to make it because I have 2 daughters. One's 12, one is 7, and neither one of them have seen me drink. I have a wife of over 8 years. She's never seen me take a drink of alcohol. I've watched her drink alcohol around me. It doesn't bother me being around alcohol unless I'm around a belligerent drunk, and then I have no time for that. And anybody that thinks that's cool, man, hopefully you wake up someday, because that ain't cool. Clarence Thomas, oh my dear God, there's Clarence Thomas. My brother, how you doing, man? Love that dude right there. So look, once you start clearing all of this stuff away, and remember, man, Ken, that's awesome, bro. August 10th for me, man. So 2002. So like once you start clearing all of the stuff, the garbage away, and you start cleaning up your side of the street. I drink RO water, bro. Once you start cleaning up everything that you've done wrong, once you admit what you've done wrong, once you come clean about what you've done wrong, once you get on your knees and you're humble. Once you're humble, once you learn that the entire universe does not revolve around you. It doesn't revolve around you, okay? Once you get humble, once you realize that you're here to help other people feel good about life, succeed, become healthy and wealthy, and help other people have a great life, you will have everything that you want in life. Everything, I promise you. But you got to follow some steps, man. Number one, you got to decide. Decide who you are. Decide what you want. Provide unbelievable value to people. And then give it everything that you have. Give it everything. Don't leave anything left. Nothing. Do not let your... Sorry, I keep getting these notifications. What's up, Scott? How you doing, bro? Just give it everything. Don't ever let anybody wonder if you actually gave it everything. You've got to give it everything. So listen, Angela, you're welcome. Thank you for being on here. I appreciate it. And I didn't come on here to share that. I just roll with it. Whatever I just roll with it. I've been homeless 4 times. I've been broke. I live in a really nice house right now. And I'm very, very grateful for that. But I've been homeless 4 times. I was a millionaire in my 20s, and I drank it all away. So, listen, you can have anything that you want in life. I mean freaking anything. If there's something that you want in life and you're not getting it, that is your fault, as long as it's ethical. That is your fault. It's nobody else's fault. Nobody else's fault. Read the books. Do the work. Take the freaking action. Take the action. I'm a coach. I coach people. And I've talked to people, where I say, look, here's what you need to do. If it was me, this is what I would do if I were in your position. And because they told me that's what they wanted to do. I'd never tell somebody, hey, you need to do this. I always ask them what it is that they, and it just shocks the shit out of me how many people don't actually take action. I get it. I get it. Trust me, I get it. I've been there. Paralyzed by fear. I get it. But it's not necessary. It's not necessary. It's not necessary to live in that fear. I smoked cigarettes for so long, so many years, 30 years. And every time somebody said, dude, quit smoking, this fear would set in. It would take over and I'd be like, I gave up drinking already. Now you want me to freaking quit smoking? What's wrong with you? Mind your own damn business. And once I vape. I know it's not the greatest thing, but it's 1,000 times better than smoking cigarettes. But I was smoking cigarettes and had a vapor. And I was like, I need both. I'll keep the vapor. And then I'd quit vaping for a while and just smoke. And I was like, oh my God, I've got to make a decision. I've got to decide now. And that's the hardest freaking thing to do. I swear to God, that's the hardest part. But once you make the decision, I'm going to do this. And there is no turning back. You cannot look back. You got to go. And I mean freaking go. Write down what it is you want to accomplish and then give it everything that you've got. So that's it. That's all I got for you tonight. I appreciate each and every one of you. I don't even know that I made a whole lot of sense. I don't know that I made a lot of sense. I hope I did. I hope I touched somebody in some way, in a positive way. And if I can ever help anybody, I'm a busy dude now. Thank God for that. Thank God I'm busy, right? But you know what? If I can ever help you in any way, reach out to me. Hit me up on Facebook Messenger. I'll do everything I can to get back to you as soon as I can. But that's it. I love every one of you. Appreciate you all. Really appreciate you. God bless you. Have a great night. Thank you for being here. I'll check you later. Brenda, thank you. You're awesome. Sherry, thank you. God bless you too. Thank you. Have a good night.